Guess what, folks? Space exploration isn't always about rocket science and brilliant minds. Sometimes it's about a sandwich. Yes, you heard it right, a sandwich. Today we're going to talk about one of the most infamous and comical incidents in the history of space exploration. Let's rewind to the year 1965. NASA's Gemini 3 mission was all geared up with astronauts Gus Grissom and John Young on board. Young, a man of wit and humor, decided to pull a prank that would make history. He smuggled a corned beef sandwich from a local deli in Cocoa Beach, Florida, into the spacecraft. Now you might be thinking, what's the big deal? It's just a sandwich. But let's delve a little deeper. In the microgravity environment of space, crumbs from the sandwich could float around, potentially getting into the delicate and critical equipment of the spacecraft. This could have led to catastrophic consequences, putting the lives of the astronauts and the entire mission at risk. But remember, this wasn't just any sandwich. This was a corned beef sandwich. A sandwich that caused quite a stir in the halls of Congress, leading to a full-blown congressional hearing. NASA was heavily criticized for the incident, and the corned beef sandwich became a symbol of the agency's perceived lack of discipline. In response to the incident, NASA imposed stricter measures on what astronauts could bring aboard spacecraft. The agency started developing specially designed crumb-free food for astronauts to prevent similar incidents in the future. So, while this mishap might have caused some red faces at NASA, it also led to significant improvements in space food technology, ensuring the safety of future missions. It's a reminder that even in the high-stakes world of space exploration, there's always room for a little humor, and of course, sandwiches. So remember, next time you're packing lunch for space, maybe opt for the official freeze-dried astronaut meals. Ever misplaced your keys? Well, imagine misplacing a piece of the Lunar module. Let's take a trip back in time to November 1969 to the Apollo 12 mission. This was the sixth manned flight in NASA's Apollo program and the second to land on the moon. Among the crew was astronaut Alan Bean. Now, Alan was a talented pilot and a fine astronaut, but we'll soon discover that he may not have been the best choice for the role of camera operator. So, what happened? Well, as part of the mission, Alan was tasked with setting up a color television camera. This camera was intended to capture and transmit images of the lunar surface back to the millions of eager viewers on Earth. Picture this, a live broadcast from the moon. Exciting, isn't it? Unfortunately, things didn't go exactly as planned. In the midst of the lunar hustle and bustle, Alan accidentally pointed the camera directly at the sun. Now, if you didn't know, cameras and the sun don't exactly mix well. This simple mistake resulted in the camera's tube getting fried, leaving millions of viewers back home in the dark, quite literally. This incident highlights the importance of careful planning and attention to detail in space exploration. In an environment where even the smallest errors can have significant consequences, each step must be meticulously planned and executed. But let's not be too hard on Alan. After all, he was on the moon, performing a task he wasn't trained for, under a pressure most of us can't even begin to comprehend. And besides, this little mishap didn't stop him and the rest of the Apollo 12 crew from completing their mission successfully. So next time you're feeling a little scatterbrained or you've misplaced something for the umpteenth time, just remember, even astronauts have their off days. And sometimes, these off days can lead to some of the most memorable moments in space exploration history. The moral of the story, don't let astronauts operate the camera. In space, a small miscalculation can make a big difference, especially if you're mixing up your units of measurement. Now imagine being a part of a team that's just spent years designing, building, and launching a spacecraft. You've poured countless hours into ensuring every last detail is perfect. And then, one day, you realize there's been a mix-up. Not just any mix-up, but a mix-up in the units of measurement. This isn't a hypothetical nightmare, folks. It's the very real story of the Mars Climate Orbiter. In the late 90s, NASA launched the Mars Climate Orbiter, a spacecraft tasked with studying the Martian climate, water vapor, and surface changes. This $125 million piece of equipment was meant to revolutionize our understanding of the red planet. However, a minor error turned this mission into a major blunder. The navigation team at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory used the metric system, as is standard in scientific calculations. The spacecraft's software, on the other hand, used imperial units. This mismatch led to a devastating miscalculation. Instead of entering Mars' orbit at the right altitude, the orbiter came in too low, and tragically, it was lost in the Martian atmosphere. Just like that, years of hard work and a $125 million investment vanished, all because of a simple unit conversion error. You might be wondering, how could such a critical mistake happen? Well, the investigation pointed to a lack of standardized procedures for verifying unit conversions, and the assumption that all data would be in the metric system. This blunder was a wake-up call for NASA, leading to a renewed emphasis on unit standardization. So, what's the takeaway from this galactic blunder? It's simple. Details matter, especially in space exploration, where a minor slip can lead to major consequences. This story is a poignant reminder of the importance of standardized units and thorough checks in every step of a mission. So kids, pay attention in math class. It might just save a spaceship one day. Typos. They're annoying, right? But did you know one typo almost cost NASA $80 million? Let's take a journey back to the swinging 60s. The space race was in full swing, and NASA was hot on the trail of new discoveries with their Mariner program. Mariner 1 was an ambitious spacecraft designed to fly by Venus, gathering valuable data about our celestial neighbor. But things didn't quite go as planned. Picture this. It's July 22nd, 1962. Tension is high as the countdown for Mariner 1's launch ticks down. Liftoff is a success, but just a few minutes into the flight, things start to go awry. The spacecraft veers off course. NASA's ground control scrambles to correct the trajectory, but to no avail. In a final desperate measure to prevent the rogue rocket from causing damage on Earth, they send the self-destruct command. Just like that, Mariner 1 is lost, and with it, $80 million. So, what went wrong? The culprit was a single missing hyphen in the spacecraft's coding instructions. This tiny omission caused a major error in the onboard guidance software, leading the spacecraft astray. The Mariner 1 incident, often dubbed the most expensive hyphen in history, is a stark reminder of the critical importance of meticulous proofreading. It's easy to view this error as a one-off, a freak accident in the complex world of space exploration. But the truth is, the potential for such catastrophic errors exists in many areas of our lives. Anytime we're dealing with complex systems, be it writing a research paper, coding a new software, or even sending an important email, attention to detail is paramount. The Mariner 1 incident is a cautionary tale about the cost of carelessness. It's a reminder to us all that precision matters, that every detail, every character, every hyphen counts. It's a call to take a moment to double-check our work and to proofread, and to ensure we've dotted all our I's and crossed all our T's. Next time you're rushing to hit send on that email, remember the $80 million typo? Proofread, people. We've talked about sandwiches, cameras, unit mix-ups, and typos, but the biggest mishap of all? Space trash. Indeed, we've made some hilarious and sometimes costly errors in our journey to the stars. But there's a less amusing byproduct of our cosmic curiosity that's becoming a serious issue. We're talking about space debris, or as it's more commonly known, space trash. This isn't just the odd sandwich wrapper floating around in the cosmos. We're dealing with spent rocket stages, defunct satellites, and countless pieces of broken equipment that have been left to drift aimlessly about our planet. Just imagine, there are millions of pieces of trash, all hurtling around Earth at speeds of up to 17,500 miles per hour. Sounds dangerous, doesn't it? And dangerous it is. Even a small piece of debris can cause catastrophic damage to a spacecraft or satellite. And given that we rely on these for everything from GPS to weather forecasts, the threat posed by space trash is very real indeed. But it's not all doom and gloom. Efforts are being made to clean up this cosmic clutter. Scientists and engineers around the world are developing innovative solutions like giant nets, harpoons, and even lasers to collect and remove this space junk. These cleanup missions are not just about protecting our satellites and spacecraft, but also about safeguarding our future in space. If we want to continue exploring the cosmos, We need to ensure that we're not leaving a trail of trash in our wake. It's a reminder that even in the infinite expanses of space, our actions have consequences. We need to treat space with the same respect we should be affording our own planet. After all, we only have one Earth and one space to explore. So let's not turn space into a junkyard, shall we? Keep it clean, space explorers.